this was very standard in our workflow with the property management company. As soon as we'd put a project under contract on the acquisition side to buy it, to renovate it, we already knew that it was getting handed off to management to manage. The management side, that marketing arm, we would already start marketing this thing as an available rental.
Okay.
And we had, this is well before days of Lead Vault. I was manipulating Moby to do like, hey, text us whatever. And we would put like the street number as the code for that house. Text us 123, to this number. And then it would reply back, what street is the rental you're interested in? And then it would kick them another, and then eventually it got them to the page. Again, this was 2013 to 2016 when
Right.
I didn't have the tools I have today. But
I remember Moby.
we would have properties rented before the renovations were even done.
Right.
So take that same theory to what you guys are doing, since you're rehabbing to sell, start pre-marketing that thing from day one.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of point. Well, now, we tried to do for sale by owner for about 2 weeks, and we got some hits, but it just fell through. So now we have it with a realtor. Is that concept still the same with putting it on there, even though it's now with a realtor?
Yeah, what I'm telling you to do, because most of the time when we're renovating a home, when we're flipping it, right, from the marketing aspect, the real estate agent, we're not really handing it to them to start marketing this thing until after it's pretty much done and ready to go to the market, right?
Right.
So that they can start having open houses and all that kind of crap. I'm talking about doing your own marketing from the day you put it under contract to take it down and start renovating it.
Got it.
I mean, we put
Jordan
signs in the
sells me
yards.
his house today for 10 grand, and my plan is to renovate. I close on it tomorrow. I want marketing out by the end of the week.
Got it. No, absolutely. But that's something that fell through the cracks. We didn't realize it, but thank you
I
for
wouldn't beat
that.
yourself up on this one. Like I said, hindsight's 2020. You got it sold. You're closing on this thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, we've been looking and talking about the different things we can do on our own as a FSOB, but FSBO rather, and we've been using Facebook and boosting that, and we've been doing some other things. But this is another process, so that's good. Thank you.
Well, that's where geofencing comes in, right?
Yep.
You already know the comps in the area.
Right.
I was talking to Mia about this, right? Taking geofence. If you're about to put you bought this house, right? You're going to renovate it. It's going back to the market. Well, go find all the active listings that are out there right now and geofence all the active listings.
Right.
And as people are going and viewing those homes, they get tripped into the geofence, and now we start delivering our own advertisement about our company and about what we've got and projects we got coming forward, right? To them. Now, what she wants to do is she's going to use it on the back end side of this.
Right.
She's going to geofence the active listings that are on the market for projects she has on the market.
Shawn, what is geofencing? Sorry for the question.
I've talked about this quite a bit. It's another form of display advertisement via mobile device and mobile apps. Very similar to like you would do YouTube display ads, banner display ads on Google, Yahoo, email display ads, that kind of stuff.
We had a sick one this week. We haven't even closed on the house yet. We were in contract to buy it for 25, but the seller was cool. Hoarder house, ex-husband passed away. It's disgusting. So she let us start cleaning all the shit out. Jacob puts a sign in the front yard and gets a phone call like a day after we're done cleaning it out. The neighbor sends it to her friend in Florida. Friend in Florida wants a second house in that neighborhood, calls us, and we're selling it for like $87,500.
Outstanding.
After putting $4,500 into it. So it's like a $50,000 spread. That doesn't happen to us very often here, but we have about 2 or 3 times here recently, just by a freaking yard sign that actually the wind blew it away halfway down the street, but somebody saw the number.
Well, I got to tell you, the QR code, Jordan, really I mean, it was so easy, and people have been forced to learn from COVID how to use a QR code, because every damn restaurant or bar you walked
Yeah.
into, think about it. I mean, people that I would never think would ever use a QR code are literally driving by. We had these tree trimming guys at this house, and they were there all day trimming down these huge oak trees. And some old guy in a big old Cadillac drove by and took a picture of the QR code on the truck, the tree trimming truck that was sitting there. And I asked him if I could help. He says, "No, I got all the information. Thanks a lot." He drove away. I mean, it's just,
We ran I was the chairperson for a very large street festival here in my town where I live this past weekend, called Chatsworth Blockfest. We had just over about 13,000 attendees on the street. We shut down 2 major intersections, major blocks, bands, beer garden, all that kind of stuff, right? Decided at the last minute to print up a QR code that took them to a lander that had like the schedule of events for the day, what time were the wrestling matches happening in the pro wrestling ring, what time were the comic signings happening for the A-listers, what time was what band playing, right? This whole schedule of events, had the map layout of the street fair, had the listing of booth locations on where the vendors are at in case they were looking for a specific vendor, had all the sponsors of the event on this landing page. Right? Made a QR code, printed these big posters up. We posted them all over, had them hanging from beer gardens and tents and all that kind of stuff. I was looking at the analytics the other day. This happened on Saturday. I was looking at the analytics earlier this week, and we had over 16,000 pings to this page that particular day.
Wow.
Right? Because people are multiple, they're scanning constantly when they see it because oh yeah, I wanted to look this up. So it's repeat people coming back. But to the point of, right, all it was a QR code that said scan here for schedule of event. And had them hanging up everywhere. But because people are just so comfortable scanning QR codes these days. Now imagine if I were to take that to a whole nother level and offer people to have advertisements on that page for that particular day, knowing that page had that kind of traffic.
Just from Shawn's recommendation, we put it on our business card, and I'm sure you could see the outline of it. But we get a lot of hits from that when I just hand those out. They just click on that. One thing I wanted to ask is if anybody knows, someone mentioned on one of these calls that there's a QR code, and then there's maybe you were talking about an evergreen QR code or a permanent QR code. So
what I mean by
that stays on it or something.
What I mean by evergreen is we don't want to generate a QR code. I'll use Jordan's website again as the example. QR code is really just a fast way to get to a URL, right?
Right.
So to go evergreen, I want it going to this URL where it's going to land on this page. I wouldn't want to create a sign with the QR code with this going to this URL, because once this property is said and done, I can't use that QR code again unless I need to drive it to this particular property.
Gotcha.
So if you're building, like coming soon renovation by Ohana Legacy property sign, you only want to have a couple of these printed because maybe you're only doing 2 or 3 projects at a time. And you don't want to have to reprint that sign every single time because you changed out the QR code.
Right.
That's what I mean by evergreen QR code. Make sure the one that you use on that sign is going to something that isn't going away anytime soon.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you just update that page that it takes you to, and you can use the same QR code.
No, I'm not updating the page. I'm just continuing to add to it, right? This page is our projects page.
Right. Well, that's what I mean by update. You add the new properties to it and all.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. No, update. Yeah. Anyway, no, you guys have heard, we've had some really good success with this, and this drive-by QR code stuff is really, we almost want to make the QR code even bigger. You know,
I was hoping Taylor was going to be on because I was going to talk today about see if she's available. I was going to talk about retargeting today. See if she jumps on in a second. I don't want to go too deep into it if she happens to jump on. She asked me to talk about it on Wednesday. Does anybody else know what I mean by retarget marketing?
not sure,
Not sure.
not sure.
I saw Kurt shake his head no. I think Tony's over there playing words with friends or something.
Isn't that where you capture them and then you continue to send them your marketing when they go to other sites?
High level, yeah, that's basically what it is. I get something of theirs and I continue to chase them. Let me see, she answered me. I don't want to go too deep. If not, she's gonna have to watch the recording. I'm about to hop in my car for an appointment. Okay, never mind. She's gonna be jumping on late. She'll have to watch the replay. So why I'm kind of bringing this up, and it kind of fits with what Sal's been talking about here. QR code to that Our Projects page. Sal, do you think everybody that scans it, that goes to that page, is eventually going to click on one of the projects? Maybe we lay it out slightly different. Maybe you've got one renovation going and it's the big feature project. Just because we get them there, does it mean that they're absolutely going to take action? They're going to go
No.
to that project. They're going to fill out the form. They're going to reach out and call.
No, we have engagement. That's about it.
Correct. No different than any other marketing that we do. Just because we put marketing in front of somebody, does it absolutely mean they will take action? No. How many of you guys have seen one of Shawn's social media posts, an email, message, something, and even dealing with that right now and ignored it? Every single one of you on this call. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You've all done it, right? Because it's just natural human. Thank you, Seagal, for raising your hand and being honest about it. That's just normal human behavior, right? Our attention span is so small, so short, that unless it like immediately hits us and we have our thought process over on that side and we can't, we tend to do things when we're in a position of absolutely needing to do it. So just because we put marketing out there, in this case, we're using Sal's big ass sign in front of the yard of the renovated project that they're working on with this giant QR code, just because it's there and somebody scans it doesn't mean that it's actually doing much for us other than just getting awareness, getting somebody trafficked to the website, right? So we've taken this person, we've gotten them to take action and end up on our webpage, right? And then they disappear. Retarget marketing is marketing that we have that does one thing, gets them back onto the said page or a different page, depending on where we're at in the process, right? But I'm going to keep it super simple. If I've got one person, they've taken action, they've gone here, I want to have retargeting campaigns that are focused on getting that person back if they didn't take the action that I absolutely wanted, right? Is everybody tracking so far?
Yep.
So when we look at retarget marketing, and the reason I put this post up the other day and a couple of you guys started to comment on it, Taylor was one that really threw it in. Did you change your hair? Taylor. Doesn't even look like her. I think she's still connecting. I put this out and some of you guys were saying like, what is this? My comment around it was, if you are running marketing, you're running any kind of marketing campaigns and you don't have any retargeting in place, Can anybody tell me what that would be like? What's that like doing with money, with opportunity?
Burning it.
Think of it this way. I've got said person and I'm leading them somewhere with my marketing, and I'm leading them to this big, deep ocean. And when they fall in, I have no idea where they went, and I don't even try to find them. That's basically what's happening. So we rely solely on finding more people. I just got to keep pushing more people. And maybe one of them will stop falling in and stand there at the shore banks and actually do what I want them to do, right? So when we look at retargeting, this is where postcard retargeting comes in. Sal, I know you guys have this going on because I'm running that for you, right? Where they hit the website, they don't get to what we call the conversion page, meaning they got here, but they didn't do what we needed them to do to get to the next. Therefore, if we can figure out their mailing address, let's go ahead and mail them a postcard. And that postcard has a QR code trying to get them back here, right? That's one form of retargeting. Another form of the retargeting that we see working really, really well right now. I'm labeling it geofence because we stack the geofence with a retarget component, meaning the programmatic ads. Same concept. They get to the website. They didn't do what we said. We continue to serve up ads, trying to get them back here. The only difference is the ad that they see the second, third, fourth time after they visited one time has a completely different what to it. What do you guys think?
Has a different approach or a different feel?
Has a
Different
totally different
message.
look, has a different message, has a different feel, right? Different call to action, because they've already been there once. My retargeting is all about getting them back again. So I say things differently to them, right?
Yeah, so the concept is, Shawn, that not everybody's going to accept a particular message. They're going to have it different ways. It's like the multi-touch, except
Correct.
you're doing it in this fashion, which makes sense.
And when we do these, we have anywhere from about 10 to 15 different ads on average that we designed up to put in place that get cycled through. So that, because we're hitting them 3, 4, 5 times a day with these ads. We don't want them seeing the same thing over and over again. We change it up. Still the same concept, still the same company. We're just saying it differently. How many of you guys have seen variations to commercials that play on a regular basis? Right? Some are long, some are shorter, some leave out a scene, some only show it this way certain times, right? That's just typical marketing. A, B, C split test type of stuff. Okay. The other area that works really, really well from a retarget standpoint that I don't see enough people doing is keyword retargeting. So, keyword retargeting is simply this. I know the demographic of this person based on the fact that they went to this real estate. I know their habits. I know what their interests are. They're obviously interested in the case we're using today, Sal's property. They're interested in real estate in some fashion, right? There's a lot of tools, things that we have at our disposal and fingertips where we're literally able to look and go, people like this are also out there searching for these type of keywords. So there's a high probability that this person is also searching these keywords. So we start running retarget ads for keywords. And when we mix this with geofencing, meaning I literally fenced this person over here, I can literally control that only when that person searches these keywords, go ahead and show that ad that they've already been seeing in a different variation over to them. And the whole point behind all of this, these kind of 3 pillars right here, is to get them where? Back to the website, right? This is my website. Just trying to get them back. That's it. This makes sense. Taylor, I don't know how early on to my explanation you got on. You can always watch the replay if you missed part of it. But this is what I meant by, if we're going to spend money on marketing, we should be thinking about having a portion of our marketing budget be focused on some form of retarget marketing. Now, this is very, very high level. Obviously, we can get very granular on this. We can really expand. There's a lot more ways that we could retarget. These are the top 3 from a cold traffic or just what I call cold traffic, right? People going, they didn't really do anything. We don't have any information, too much information on them. We're just trying to chase them around and stay in front of them. This happens all the time to you and I by brands left and right. How many of you guys have ever searched something, looked for something, and the next thing you know, you keep seeing the ads for that type of product everywhere, and maybe not even by the same company? You know, Tony searched the best bodybuilding protein for runners. And all of a sudden you're seeing other protein brands in front of you. Why? Because you search for protein brands, protein for athletes. All right, this is just an example I'm throwing out. That's a form of keyword retargeting. If I sold protein and I want to target runners looking for protein shakes, I could run retargeting campaigns. You searched it once. Now I could start hitting you because I already know, and it's not me personally, it's the system, the algorithm already knows that you're high probability that you're going to search it again.
Now, in our automation system, we really have to be focused on returning them to the website all the time, right? So our automation letters or whatever, we should have QRs in them.
But the website is your hub, right? We always call this the hub of your marketing. So I want as much of my stuff focused and centered around getting them back to my hub, yes. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I got to get them there every single time. Again, that's why I said this is a high-level explanation of retargeting. There's a lot more that goes in. I can't teach retarget marketing in 35, 40 minutes. But high level, yes, we want to try to get them back, right? I'll give you another example. How many of you guys have ever searched a brand? Actually, let me ask this quick. How many of you guys first actually get on YouTube and watch YouTube videos or look for things on YouTube? I'm more inclined to use YouTube than I am Google if I'm doing research for something, because I prefer to just watch a quick video than I am to go and sit and read a bunch of crap, right? You guys ever searched for something, then you jump on YouTube and all of a sudden you start seeing YouTube ads about that type of product? That's retarget marketing. Sometimes it's you went to ISOFIT is something I've been paying a lot of attention to as of late. It's a type of fitness machine, good for endurance athletes. Been doing a lot of research on it. All of a sudden I get on YouTube and I'm looking at real estate stuff on YouTube, and I'm seeing videos for ISOFIT and some of its competitors. Because inside of the ad platform, we have that capability of controlling that they don't necessarily even have to be searching for real estate to see your real estate ad. They could be looking at recipes on YouTube because they're trying to cook dinner tonight. but they're also looking to sell their house, and they've been doing research on that, and we can get in front of them that way. It's making a little bit more sense. Anybody have questions on this? I'm not going to go too deep into this because, like I said, I can do an entire course probably just teaching
So,
retargeting.
so right now, I understand that the phone companies are closing up on having too many people advertise and send messages with the phones there. So how do you, what
That's
do you
text
do?
message. What's your question, Segal?
Text message is one way of targeting our audience, right? Our
Not
sellers,
retargeting. I'm not talking about retargeting via text.
but the geofence has that.
Geofence has nothing to do with text messaging.
Okay.
Geofencing is not text messaging. I'm not going to take the time to go deep into what geofencing is today. I've been talking a lot about that on calls. Anybody else? Thoughts, comments, questions?
It just comes back to the automation, right? The automation has to be very clear on all the stages of automation and our letters in our automation for retargeting. No?
I mean, you need this stuff automated. There's no manual doing it. Yes, if that's what you're asking. The key is you got to have this built as a campaign. You can't just be thinking tactically. I've talked about this a lot. This is, if we just take retargeting for an example, that's just a tactic. This is a tactic. This is a tactic. This is a tactic. It's not about understanding each tactic. It's how do the tactics come together, right? So this was the big thing I wanted to talk about today. The general gist of retargeting. We're seeing it a lot of the higher campaigns, right? The more robust campaigns that we're managing and running, not a single one of them is happening without, I call retargeting the catch basket. If we don't have the catch basket in place, we're not running that campaign. So anytime we launch some of our bigger geofence campaigns, our paid ad campaigns, we always allocate a portion of the budget monthly to a retarget aspect. Postcard retargeting, there's been a ton of fun data coming in. We have one client up in Columbus, Ohio, that the second his geofence campaign went live, we saw an immediate uproar in postcard retargeting happening. Why? He was getting hundreds and hundreds of clicks from his geofence campaign onto his webpage, and then they weren't converting necessarily the very first time that they went there. And the postcard has been his biggest catch behind it. So 2 to 3 days later, get a postcard in front of their face. And then we have retargeting geofenced programmatic ads, total different message that's running. And we're seeing clicks coming through from that back over to the website. And how many of you guys remember, I've talked about this before, what's the average somebody needs to hear, think, know, learn about you before they make a decision?
Was it 13 to 15?
The average is like 7 to 9 before somebody really starts to pay attention. Most marketers, most marketing itself, not just marketers like me, a marketer, but most marketing campaigns tend to die off by 9, 10 touches. The ones that continue all the way out to that 12, 13, 14 range get way better results. So if you think about it, in today's example, dude's driving down the street, sees Sal's sign. Is that touch 1? The second he saw the sign? 100%. He clicks, he scans the QR code, lands on the web page that we drove them to. That's touch what? Touch 2. If we don't have any retargeting behind it and they don't take action, they don't fill out the form, they don't pick up the phone and call us, how many touches do we get them? 2. And I don't know if I'll ever get them another touch, from there forward, because what? Person just randomly drove by and scanned the QR code and went there. I got to hope that they see another sign. I got to hope that for some reason they stumble on something else. Maybe they are out there doing research. Now we start looking at, okay, Ohana Legacy's SEO campaign. Can that maybe pick up a touch? But I lost control of them. But if I put retargeting and I know that they've gone there and I can find a way to keep getting messages back into them, I start to control how fast I can get 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 touches in front of somebody.
So by them going into the QR, you already have their information, right?
Nope. Scanning a QR code is no different than you clicking a link on something or going and clicking on a website on Google. QR code is a short code. That's all it is. Whoever invented QR codes actually is a very intelligent genius. They basically took a virtual button and somehow turned it into a thing that non-virtual can happen into the virtual world. I could physically take a phone device, point it at it, and click on it without me actually being in the digital space.
Didn't you say you can get information, you can get all their information once they scan a menu?
I can, if we have our postcard retargeting campaign active and a code on that website, and they get on that website, then I can start to potentially pick up their information. Typically, we see about 70% of the time we're able to find a mailing address. But just by them clicking the QR code or scanning that QR code doesn't capture anything. Anybody else? Thoughts, comments, questions?
Wait, okay, can you repeat that? So if somebody goes onto your website, you don't know who they are, but you know that they went onto your website, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, so our postcard, this is the easy one to get put in place. We've got this happening for a lot of our clients. Our postcard retargeting, here's how it works. We get this little snippet of code, right? Kind of looks like that when I see it. The team goes in and puts it on the back end of your website. They put this code in place. All that code's doing is reading website traffic. No different than we have analytics codes on there. You can put Facebook pixels on the back here. It's the same type of code, right? What happens is traffic, I don't care how it comes, traffic gets onto that website.
By code, you mean QR code?
Nope, this is a back end snippet code that we run in the back of your website if you've got this service involved. This has been programmed to say, okay, when traffic gets on my website, I need them to get to this page. A lot of times this is like the thank you page. They filled out the form and it redirects to a page that's called the thank you page. We program this to say anything coming to this website needs to get to this page. If it gets here, don't worry about it, it converted. But if it does not get to this page when they visit the website, then a lot of times this code right here is looking at the device. It's looking at all the cookies that are all over that device. It's looking at all kinds of stuff that you guys don't even realize is actually buried inside of your computers, your cell phones, your tablets, all that kind of stuff. And 70% of the time, it is capable of finding your physical mailing address because you got profiles for all kinds of stuff that you've put your home address in, right? And we program it to say, if you find the address and they didn't make it to this page, then go ahead and send a postcard that we've already pre-designed, like these. Send that in the mail to that address. And this postcard's got a specific message. It's got QR codes on it. And that QR code is linked to get them back here, in hopes that maybe the second time that we get them back there, they get to that conversion page. That's how the postcard retargeting one works. Does that make more sense, Taylor?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And all of this is happening automated in the back end. These postcards end up in their mailbox typically 2 to 3 days after they visited the website and did not make it to the conversion page. So a big use case right now for us on this, we have a lot of clients running paid traffic, meaning they're running Google ads. So it starts over here to Google ad. And that person clicked on that Google ad and went to a landing page that we've built very specific for the Google ad campaign. That landing page has a field, form, probably says something like, get your fair cash offer today. Looking to get a cash offer, fill out the form. It's got videos. We've got all different variations of this, depending on the type of search campaign or display campaign, whatever the case. If they do that, it drives to another page that's the thank you page. Well, we've got clients that are getting 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 views a week on these landing pages. Do you think they're getting 3,000 to 5,000 leads? No, because not everybody that views this page is filling it out and going here. They're getting like 1 to 3% that are coming through on a conversion. So we put in the postcard to catch anybody that landed on that page and didn't convert and try to push them back to that page. And I literally can program the postcard campaign to say they must visit this page specifically. And only if they visited that page, fire the postcard. And we have very specific postcards designed to put them back there. But Taylor, I'm going to use you for an example. You do the typical we buy houses, but then you've also got this little niche that you've kind of fallen into with mobile homes. Is mobile homes a little bit different than traditional stick-built houses?
Yeah, definitely.
Is the process of buying a mobile home that much different than buying a stick-built house as far as the closing process? No, but is there things to consider that people selling mobile homes need to pay attention to that people selling stick homes don't need to pay attention to?
Yeah.
So this is why we're building you a very specific landing page for mobile homes, because there's very specific information that we need on there, right?
Yeah.
So we could literally retarget with postcards. They have to have been on the mobile homepage. Send them this postcard that's more designed and looks, talks, feels, branded out, everything that Benny Flip is the go-to in the Phoenix area for mobile homes and selling your mobile home property. But we can also have, just because you also do traditional real estate, we could have your basic how it works page. And a postcard, and we can retarget with a completely different postcard if they visit the, let's say, how it works page and don't convert.
Okay.
I can get even granular than this. I can say, hey, they had to have visited the How It Works page, and then maybe we've got some button that's like, if you're selling a mobile home, click here for mobile home specific information. They had to have visited here and to this page. Because now I'm starting to really drill it down that this person, if they've clicked to 2 different pages on my website, they're probably a little bit deeper in the buyer process, seller process, right? They're deeper in that customer journey than just somebody randomly landing there.
Okay. So then what do I just tell you guys when I'm ready to run a campaign or what?
Well, this is something we turn on and it's on all the time in the back end. It's an additional fee to have it, and then you've got the postage included. Or, you know, postage that you got to pay for when those postcards get mailed out. But these are
Okay,
the type of campaigns that we think through and we
Uh-huh.
make adjustments to based on what we've got going on the front end. Where's data showing us this type of stuff?
So I would just let you guys know.
Yep.
That's what, okay.
Yeah, when you're ready to put something like that in place,
Okay.
let us know and we can help. But that's a form of, like, that's a very simple form of retargeting.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Anybody else? Last chance. If not, we are going to end early since nobody's got anything.
So mainly the retargeting is to the properties or the How It Works with the postcards, right? That gets the best, no?
It could be wherever. Again, it depends on who's the audience and what we're doing. We retarget a lot to the How It Works page, unless we're trying to push traffic back at a very specific page because we know they came from bot traffic on ads. How It Works page, the About Us page, very specific landing pages. I guess the easiest way to really sum it up, maybe this will help you, Seagal. Imagine you've got your car, you're driving down the street. And you had the ability to pick up the person that just visited your company and walked away from it. And you could put them in your car and you can talk to them and take them right back to where you wanted them to be at. It might be different for this person that you picked up versus this person. There isn't one retargeting campaign. Any marketing campaign should have a retarget component behind it. All good? Okay, I gave you guys enough chances to.
Shawn,
ask.
quick question, if you're done with the targeting.
Yep. I've been
As
done
we-
for a long time, Terry. I've been
I
asking any
know.
other questions.
Okay, well, I just making sure. So as we pare down our avatar, so out of state owners, we've got single family, multifamily, and condos. So would we have 3 different campaigns on that? Or what would your recommendation be as I try to narrow down the avatars?
So you're saying like you're attacking single family owners, you're attacking condo owners, and what was the third one?
1 to 4 units
And then people that own 1 to 4 unit buildings?
out of state, correct?
Absolutely. That's 3 totally different campaigns.
Okay, got it.
So 3 completely different messages, 3 different campaigns. The tactics, remember, I went over this handful of weeks ago on a call. Go back and check those recordings where I broke down, it's on here somewhere. I broke down an entire list of like tactics versus putting it together as a campaign. Somewhere on here. Just saw it over here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. All right, we made this big list right here.
Yep.
social media, networking, content, direct message, text, email, radio, PPC, signage, home show. These are, and this is a small list in comparison to what's really out there. This is tactics of marketing. So don't confuse when I say 3 campaigns, because you got 3 audiences, meaning you have to be doing, you got to have like a sign for one, but you need to do text for another one because it has to be different than the other one. No, I'm talking about, you might have 5 of these things happening to one of those avatars. That's a campaign. You're running ads directly at people that own condos. You're hitting a list of condo owners with text messages. All right, we got signage out there, let's say. I'm just randomly picking one about selling condos.
So we need to prioritize which one of those 3 we want to start with. And then we can work with you on the campaign as we pare down the avatar, and then maybe go into the other 2nd or 3rd one at a later date.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what your budget looks like too.
Right.
You know, if your
Okay.
budget can handle all 3 at one time, then we handle, because a lot of times the tactical approach is going to be the same. I know what, we make this big list, but I know what tactics are really working right now in real estate. It's what I talked about on that Max Traffic webinar the other week. It starts with getting a list and attacking that list. So in your case, Terry, it's like, get me a list of condo owners in the Carlsbad and Orange County area, if that's where your target is, right? Or whatever the criteria is on it. Actually, Roger and I are working on this right now for our AI toolbox. We identified like 14 cities in the country that we ideally want clients in right now. And there's a certain level of the client that we want in these types of cities to go into this particular marketing campaign that we want to build for them. So that's phase 1, right? Now I know exactly who I'm going after. Great. Now I'm going to go launch the tactics against that avatar, which in our case is going to be, we're going to be doing some cold outreach. Cold outreach in my case is going to be coming predominantly from emails, trying to get them onto a webinar. This is just my style, what I'm doing. We're also going to launch geofencing. So I'm going to take that list of all the companies that I find. I'm going to find all of their addresses, and we're going to geofence addresses and start running advertisement that way too. We're going to probably launch some very specific SEO content about digital marketing for real estate companies in these particular cities. These are the tactics that we start to stack. Does that make more sense, Terry?
Sure does. Yep. Thank you.
So in your case, you've got 3 avatars. We need to build out 3 full-fledged campaigns. A lot of the tactics are going to be the same across each one.
Got it.
And that's why I say it depends on your budget.
Yeah.
On whether you can attack all 3 simultaneously, whether you want to attack 1, 2 of them, something like that.
Right.
Now, is there a way to send a triggered postcard straight out of Lead Vault?
No. But if I want to manually send postcards to somebody, that's where Dope comes in.
But it's not connected in, so if they click on something, it can't automatically send them a postcard?
Absolutely, that can happen. As long as you have the Dope platform and the Dope product with us, we can build automations inside of Lead Vault that speak directly to the Dope platform. That can absolutely happen. Actually, I just built that with Marie and Jake. Jake's got a couple campaigns running right now, where if they get to a certain point, he wants a postcard to go out. And in the workflow, it goes to a webhook that goes to Zapier that talks to Dope and fires said postcard. Actually, Taylor, you might have actually received something from us. I got to double check that it went out, but you might be receiving something from us because your website went live.
Oh, I have, okay. I haven't.
I got to
received
double
anything
check
yet.
that I didn't turn that one off, but I had it on for a while. If it didn't, I'll turn it back on and send you this. I don't have it in here, but Dope also sends out cookies, a box of cookies.
Did get an Allura Home postcard.
Well, that's the retargeting, because you went on Allura Home's website and didn't get to the conversion
Yeah.
page. And
Mhm.
our postcard retargeting picked up your address and mailed it to you.
Yeah.
That's that one. But Dominique, we had it where I moved when Taylor's website, for example, just went live, and she's the last one that we put live. It's making me think of it. I had it built in Lead Vault where I could take the card and I moved it into this particular column on my opportunity board. And once a card landed in that column, it triggered a workflow that then talked to Dope to tell Dope to mail to the address that we had on file a welcome box of cookies. That's all branded
Oh.
out like REI Toolbox. She would have opened it up, and now I'm gonna make sure that you get it because I feel bad if it didn't fire. Turned it
Yeah, you got
off.
my hopes up now.
But it would, she'd open it up and had this little card in there that just said, "Thank you from REI Toolbox. We're glad to have you on board." And it was like 4 or 5 cookies in there.
Sweet. I love cookies.
That's not retarget marketing though. That's just automated direct mail. All good?